So this is an essay called "This Is Not a Love Song," and I am going to start by way of introduction by saying that I started playing the piano at 18 months, and I got a ukulele at age 3. At 9, I got a guitar. And by the time I was 14, I was touring all over the United States and Canada and Europe. And no one in this room knows that. It's kind of the secret part of myself I tell nobody about. And so that's why I wanted to keep putting off doing this goddamn reading, because, you know, I knew that it would force me to get up here with a guitar. So I'm just gonna read you an essay and do a little music. Allison, an actor, dark-haired and angular, personality bigger than my own, willing, as she says, to go deep, was, still is, the only woman I approached outside of a dating app. This straight actor from New York City, playing America's most famous lesbian cartoonist and fun home on stages across America. She rings out in my heart like a harmony up a third or down a fifth. We bonded from the moment we met in Portland. Music at the Laurel Thirst, tacos in St. John's, coffee at the Starbucks nearest the apartment Portland Center Stage housed her in. I met her parents. I met the 4 blondes of the apocalypse. I met Ko, her best friend and housemate. I met Job, her best gay man friend. The song, Run Away With Me, comes from an album of Broadway music, all written for different shows, and then curated together to sound like an entirely new musical. The song opens with these chords played on a single acoustic guitar. It's a classic folk riff. It's G to D to C, add 9, and then the singer comes in with a very appropriate line. This is really hard. Let me catch my breath. That's how I felt in Allison's apartment the night she invited me in. Laughing like teenagers because we didn't want the other cast members seeing us. Certainly not the one who'd propositioned me 10 minutes earlier. I wanted this real life Allison, 2 L's, with all the complexity of a bi-coastal relationship. And suddenly, there we were in her kitchen, quiet and awkward. The song's next line says, and if I start to look like I'm sweating, well, that's 'cause I am. So are we flirting here? There, I said it. And if I was wrong, I wasn't wrong, but if I was wrong, it'd be easy enough to escape that line. She bent in half. I'm gonna have to actually move this. Bent in half. Came back up smiling, all white teeth and olive skin and black hair. Yeah. And then she waited a beat. And it's really confusing to me. Makes sense to me, I said. You usually date men, and I'm masculine of center. She shrugged in this, I hadn't thought of it kind of way. I moved my right hand to the top of her efficiency refrigerator, dropped my chin to my chest, and I smiled. What? She said, to the smile, to my exhale of relief that I'd read her correctly. I'm not good with words, but that's nothing new. And that's really the next line of the song. And it's true for me. I can pen romantic notes, but talking to a woman face to face, well, I started dating for the very first time at 48, after 29 years of continuous monogamy. You can figure my age in dating years as 18 or 19. I like to tell people that I'm 15 and 51 at the same time, at least when it comes to dating. The song continues. Still I have to try and explain what I want to do with you, with you. I was just thinking I'd like to kiss you, I said in response to her what? Okay, she said, staring straight at my eyes. Color flooded my cheeks already, but now they were suddenly on fire. Okay? She nodded, and I kissed her softly, my left hand on the side of her face, right still holding on to the top of the refrigerator so I wouldn't tip over. I pulled back to look at her through the reading end of my lenses and said, how's that? Consent, consent, consent. Don't screw up with this woman. Not tonight. Not now. I don't know if she nodded or smiled or just said okay again. I just know that suddenly we were kissing again. Longer still, gentle, but with a bit of urgency behind my lips that led me straight into the chorus. Let me be a ride out of town. Let me be the place that you hide. We can live our lives on the road. Run away with me. Maybe that's my 15-year-old who believes that when a beautiful New York City actor says, yes, kiss me, we've got to be all in. I mean, honestly, I basically kissed my ex-wife once, and then we partnered together for 24 years. The next girl, same thing, for 5 years. That's not really dating, is it? Next verse. No kidding. I know this is fast. What else can I do? Call me crazy, but I'm much crazier for you. I went on 32 first dates on OkCupid. I know how to behave when a woman doesn't look like a match. What confounds me is when synchronicity after synchronicity stacks up. Whether Allison and I were texting or talking long distance or sitting in the same room, this only made things more difficult for me because it seems we had all these things in common. Books, music, spirituality, humor, and Midwestern sensibility. So doesn't that mean you should be together forever? I discovered Run Away With Me after Fun Home closed and Allison returned to New York City after she began to date a man. But that didn't curb my desires or ideas. I have these plans, I have all these plans for a house that we'll build on the bay when we run away. I spent 35 years in a closet of my own devising. Initially out of fear when I figured out my sexuality, and then as a way to stay in a marriage that offered me love, safety, and emotional intimacy, even as it did not offer me any sexual intimacy. What I'm telling you is that I'm well practiced at these plans with women who are not necessarily interested in my plans, and indeed, often don't even know about them. I'm 10 years older than Allison. 10 more years of fumbling around and striving towards consciousness, towards refining my vision of what I want for my life. You're so sure of what you want, and that scares me, she said on more than one occasion. I can't disagree, but I offer the second bridge as a counterpoint. I'm not trying to make you a wife here. I'm not trying to tie you down. I'm just saying we might have a life here, a new one as soon as we run. But ultimately, I have to look more closely. And I see all the projections I placed on her, on an us that didn't exist because we were just starting to date, trying to see if we fit together. Yes, isn't that what dating is? Asked my imaginary brain therapist in her droll, sarcastic voice she saged for rhetorical moments like this. Projection and a willing suspension of disbelief? Yeah, I say. So then, tell me why this isn't really a love song for Allison, she says. And I don't want to say it, but I have to. It's not true, really, because I'm singing it to that 15-year-old kid who still believes she shouldn't talk to girls, that what she wants is wrong. I'm singing it to that kid and telling her she's okay and can start doing this on her own. That as a teenager, she didn't experience falling in love with one girl during October and then another during February, and that this is important for her psyche. In fact, says my imaginary brain's therapist, and sometimes she's so fucking annoying, even when she is simply a construct for the purpose of advancing an essay. You know, from being married so long, that you can fall in and out of love many times in a single relationship. So why not just for 6 weeks? You know you can love someone and not be able to maintain a relationship. Otherwise, you'd still be married. She's right. So go home and sing to yourself, Kate, she says, my real-life therapist, when I read her this essay. Let me be your ride out of town. Let me be the place that you hide. We can make a life on the go. Run away with me. California dreams, here we come. Romeo is calling for Juliet. Ready, set, now you're ready.